going on, everybody? It's Nexus Complex, and I am the head coach of the New York Nidokings, who are participating in the inaugural season of the USDL. Today, we're going to have a draft breakdown video looking at the Pokemon I was able to pick, talking about some of the ones I was trying to get, and hopefully coming up with a way to synergize this team so we can make a run in the playoffs. But at the end of the day, it's really just about having fun. So let's get into it. So I had the 6th overall pick in the draft, and at this spot, I decided to take Excadrill. If you played any competitive since Gen 8 was released, or even just played any competitive since Gen 5 when Excadrill was released, then you should already know how big of an offensive presence this guy is. He's got good typing with ground steel, and he's got good stab moves. At 88 speed, he's not elite, but he's good enough. And he has access to rapid spin, which kind of boosts this generation because now it increases speed. So I feel pretty good about starting a team with him. There were 16 teams in the league, and it being a snake draft. By the time it got back to me, I had the 27th overall pick. A couple G-Maxes were gone at this point, like Corviknight, and a lot of the other top tier threats like Dracofish were long gone. So I looked at dracozolt. I liked its typing. I kind of wanted to do a Dragon Steel Fairy Core, so it checks the box there. And not many things want to take a Bolt Beak, especially if it goes first. So while it's not Dracofish, it does offer a lot of offensive presence, and I think it'll be respected in the right situations. So going into my 3rd pick and looking at the team composition, it was pretty clear that I needed to add a Pokemon that had some bulk or a Pokemon that wasn't a physical attacker. Looking at who was left and who I knew about, I really liked Gengar. Gengar is one of those Pokemon that's been pretty good in the meta since it came out in Gen 1. And I really like the fact that Gengar could be a setup Pokemon, or it could just be a special attacking Pokemon, or given the right circumstances, it could even stall people out. So I like the diversity that Gengar brings and how it can change game to game on the team. So I think he slots in really well with what I already have. 4th pick, and this was really the first pick that I got sniped and thrown for a loop here. I was really targeting Sylveon heavy here, and I thought it was going to be a slim chance that it got to me, but I was still very hopeful. The way that the draft had been shaking out, there was a chance, and literally at the last minute, the last pick before I went, Sylveon got taken. So I kind of just decided to stay with the original plan of taking something with some bulk that had some good recovery. So I just went with Sylveon's relative, Vaporeon. I like the fairy typing more for what the team had, but a bulky water type is not terrible. The only thing that kind of sucks is that Vaporeon lost Toxic this gen, so that'll make this season a little difficult because you used to just be able to Toxic stall with Vaporeon. It's got good special attack, it's got good recovery with Protect, and I like what it can do. Its abilities aren't bad at all, and I think Vaporeon's going to fit right in with this team. Like I said, it's not Sylveon, but Vaporeon's definitely a great option B. After missing out on Sylveon in the last round and looking at what the teams in front of me with the next couple picks we're going to have, most of them had already taken a G-Max, and the team that hadn't taken a G-Max had literally just taken Sylveon. So, looking at the G-Maxes who were available, I had identified Alcremie as the pick here in round 5. The draft wound up shaking out the way I thought it was, so I wound up getting G-Max Alcremie in the 5th round. I could not be happier. It gives me my fairy type. It's not as bulky as Clefable and Sylveon, but it's definitely got a good enough bulk. Its G-Max move gives it recovery, in addition to having like leftovers and its own recovery. So Alcremie's definitely got the tools to make people suffer. And it's got move coverage, which is great because I can tailor it to the teams that I'm playing against. So I like what Alcremie can do. And it's got good special attack. So I've already got another good special attacker and another bulky Pokemon. So at this point, the team's got 2 physical attackers, 3 special attackers, and 2 Pokemon with good bulk. So I'm really liking what we got going on here, and the synergy of the team right now is pretty good. The typing is all pretty diverse, and we cover a lot of things at this point. After the Alcremie pickup, like I said, I'm really happy with how the team is looking. Looking through the team, I realized that we were in dire need of a fire type. We did not have anything to deal with Ferrothorn, who is a beast to deal with if you got nothing that it's weak against. And just other pesky steel types. We had nothing to deal with them. So I'm looking at fire types. Arcanine's still on the board, but I'm thinking there's no way that Arcanine gets to me. After the snake draft, goes back down and comes back to me. You know, that's like 21 picks away. So Arcanine winds up making it to me at the sixth round, and I'm ecstatic. Like, there was no way I thought Arcanine was making it. He's got great base stats at 555. Most of the Pokemon in this draft aren't going to be better than him unless they're pseudos, and they're already off the board. The only thing that sucks about fire types, especially physical ones, is that the best move they get is Flare Blitz, and that has recoil damage. So with Arcanine, you're running Flare Blitz. You're probably going to want Morning Sun unless you just want to go kamikaze with it. And it's got good special attack, but its special move pool is not great. So there's a give and take there, and I got to figure out what I want to do. I might change depending on the different battles that are going to come. But I'm really happy to add Arcanine here. He definitely, like, covers one of our big weaknesses to this point, and I think as the 6th member of this team, he's good. I like the 6 Pokemon that I have currently as like my quote-unquote starting lineup. So now that I have a full team, I'm now looking at trying to fill spots and roles that I need. To this point, my only way to clear hazards was Excadrill, which is fine. I like that Rapid Spin increases his speed, and there's probably going to be a lot of games where I keep Rapid Spin on him just to increase that speed. But I needed someone else just in case that there was a team that was super heavy in setting up like injury hazards. So I needed someone else to clear those. Looking who was available with their abilities and their skill set, I really liked Claydol. Claydol has 75 speed, so it's slightly above average. It's not great, but it can do it. It'll outspeed a lot of things. It's got Rapid Spin. It can set Stealth Rock itself. It comes with Levitate, so I can switch in on ground moves. That gives me an immunity that's nice to have. Also, its typing's not terrible. I like the typing. And it's got good physical attack. So, depending on what we're going to do, I could just do bulky and grind it out, or I could just do like a suicide lead, or there's a lot of options I could do with Claydol. And like I said, it gives me another rapid spinner and a way to clear hazards that is going to be necessary against certain teams during the season. So there'll probably be a couple games where I have to bring 2 entry hazard clearers, and Claydol will probably be on the roster. Looking at my roster, I noticed I didn't really have much speed on the team and only access to 1 entry hazard, which was Stealth Rock. So I needed to bring some speed and some entry hazards to the team, and looking at the move pools, Excadrill fit that perfectly. He's got spikes, toxic spikes, he's got elite speed. Not many Pokemon in the game are going to outspeed him without a significant investment or using a Scarf. So I like what Excadrill can do. Access to U-turn means I can also control the momentum sometimes. He can get in, get out. On certain switch-ins, I can scout out. I think Excadrill is really good on this team currently. And I think there's going to be a couple battles where if he can get spikes and toxic spikes down and control the pace of the battle, he's going to come in huge for us. Okay, so truth be told, these next 2 picks, I kind of made errors. I did not do the research the way that I was supposed to do, or maybe I'm just not good at reading comprehension, because for some unknown reason, I thought Leafeon had a super good move pool with that high attack. I was like, oh snap, how is Leafeon still here in the 9th round when it has access to stuff like Earthquake and things like that? Well, that's just it, fam. It does not have Earthquake. its move pool is okay. It's fine. It's got Leaf Blade and Solar Blade. It can do Sunny Day. In fact, Leafeon kind of thrives on Sunny Day teams. I don't know what the hell I was looking at, but yeah, I wasn't looking at Leafeon's move pool. And going into the 10th pick with Scrappy, I just assumed Dark Fighting type. I remember Scrappy had knockoff before, so Scrappy's got to still have knockoff, right? No, Scrappy does not have knockoff. I wanted a Pokemon with knockoff and fake out. Scrappy can learn knockoff, but not in this generation, not currently, not until Pokemon Home comes out. So literally, I mismanaged in my research, and now these two Pokemon are probably on the trade block. I like the fact that Scrappy has fake out. I like Moxie. If this draft was a week later and Pokemon Home was out and he had access to knockoff, I would love Scrappy. In fact, Scrappy probably would have went much higher than the 10th round had he had access to knockoff. So that's kind of where it's at. I feel like I started the draft pretty well. I feel like the initial picks are always easier when the best Pokemon are available. It's much easier to make solid picks that you feel good about. And then later in the draft, it's more situational, and I don't feel like I made really great situational pickups. Leafeon will be great against a rain team. You know, a team with a lot of rock and ground types. Leafeon can excel. Scrappy, you know, he could do great things with the right team. I just really wanted a Pokemon that could just knock off whenever and just destroy people's items. And I don't have access to that. So, full disclosure, I'm probably looking at options with those two at the end. Like, if people get traded out, it's probably going to be Leafeon or Scrappy. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just super disappointed. Because I'm like I'm admitting that I done goofed, guys. I done goofed. But anyways, that was the analysis. I know that this is like the first video I've posted, so I'm not expecting very many views or anything like that. But if you did watch this and you did enjoy the breakdown and you enjoy the analysis, that's awesome. I appreciate it. I'm going to be posting battles and commentary throughout the season. And it would be awesome if people watched. I know people love Pokemon. I love Pokemon. I'm just now getting into competitive battling. This is my first draft league. I've always wanted to do stuff like this. So, yeah, if you got any questions or want to get involved in a draft league, just let me know. Because up until like 2 weeks ago, I didn't even know how to get involved in one. And now I'm in 2, and this is my second draft, and I still butchered it. So, you know, it's all good. But yeah, so I appreciate everyone watching this and listening to me just ramble on about insignificant shit and a team that I don't expect to win the championship, but I expect to have a good time. And like I said, that's really the goal, is to have fun with this. Yeah, and just see what happens, man. So until next time, guys, I'm out. Stay tuned for the week 1 matchup and have a great day.